Hey, good morning. Let's go over today's trade plan. So in the overnight session, we saw that buyers pushed ES above that 64.5 resistance and took ES to the next zone, which was 69 quarter to 71 quarter, where responsive sellers were active on first test. But from there, we got a pullback back towards that 64, 64.5. Buyers held it again. So at this point, the buy side is firmly in control above the 63.5 to 65.5 pre-market support. On the upside, we still have that pre-market resistance zone, but it has been tested a couple of times. So continuing to balance near the highs could result in a breakout and a move up towards 74.5 and 76.75 to 78.75, where we could still get some sellers active on first test. You can see that we have some recent highs in that range, and essentially it's the 3-day balance that we broke down from. So first test of that zone, 76.75, 78.75 can still attract some sellers, and if nothing else, just from profit taking at that level. So heading into the open, and primarily today, we're going to be watching the pre-market support to see if buyers can continue to hold ES above 63.5 to 65.5, and if that remains the case, then we'll expect an upside break targeting 76.75 to 78.75. In the event of a break below the pre-market support zone, we'll look for a pullback to 58 to 60 quarter. That is the gap fill from Friday. So that's another spot where buyers can still defend that area and still be active at that zone. So, as long as we're not seeing any major weakness in the other markets or some unusually weak market internals, the 58 to 60 quarter zone still has potential to hold even if we head down there, and then we can simply balance between initial support and pre-market resistance. In the event of a break below the initial support zone, the next major support area is 51 to 54, and that's a spot where if the market even gets there, the selling could shut off, and buyers can basically step in over there and reverse ES back up. So, that's not the expectation heading into the day. The overnight session has been quite bullish, and as long as we don't see any major weakness in the other markets, the idea is that ES will hold above the initial support zone even in the event of a pullback. But ideally, if this overnight strength is going to continue, then we actually hold above the 63.5 to 65.5 zone, and then break higher and shoot for initial resistance. That is the primary scenario. ES has been the stronger market, so that's just another thing to make note of, that the other markets right now are a little bit behind the S&P and have a little bit of catching up to do, especially TF. But TF has been weak for several months now, so that's not really any news. We just don't want to see any unusual weakness in those markets, because that could drag ES lower. But as long as those markets are actually just holding up and even slowly making their way higher, ES can actually lead the upside move, and the other markets can then catch up to the S&P. So those are really the main thoughts. There aren't any major economic reports due this morning, so overall, not expecting a extremely wide range today, but we are in this expanded volatility environment, so not expecting a super tight range either. We could simply go from pre-market support up to initial resistance, and then struggle there a bit, start balancing, and then resolve that balance either higher or just kind of remain in range. So off the open, the focus will be pre-market support, 63.5, 65.5. See how well the buyers can hold it up over there, and based on that, that'll give us some information on how strong this market truly is. So those are the main ideas. Let's see how well the buy side holds up, and we'll take it from there.